Hello and welcome back. Now, 2024 has been one where most people say new year, new you. And then the term no grief for anybody comes up in almost every conversation. But have you grief for yourself? Are you even complete in yourself? Do you know what's happening in your body? Now, that's a question you need to answer and answer quite quickly. In my opinion, it's time for our health segment this Tuesday. And today we're discussing important health checks to do annually. Now, we're going to be focusing on the kind of checks that have to do with your heart, your liver, your kidneys, and generally your health. Focuses a lot on those areas. You might have been ignoring them, but today with Dr. Monisola Adanijo, the co-founder of Naveen Healthcare, hopefully you'll ignore it no longer. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me again.
Welcome back. Now, yes, Dr. Moni, you have such a lovely, calm demeanor, lovely smile, but then you're talking about us going for checks and, talking about needles. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk a bit about these routine checks that need to happen annually.
Okay. So it's important to check your organs every year.
Okay.
To find out what is going on. Whether things have changed from last year, whether they've gotten better, they've improved, or they've stayed the same. Like I always say, it's better you get a negative result.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, I'm fine, than for you not to know.
Okay.
So the tests you need to do generally, okay, first of all, you need to do a full physical examination. Your doctor has to examine you from head to toe, number one. Then you need to take your blood pressure to find out if it's high or low. Then, apart from blood pressure, we also need to take your blood because a lot of these tests are blood-based.
Okay.
Okay. And you can't know what's happening in your body unless you use that needle.
Okay.
To take blood.
Okay. So that's the part a lot of people, I know a lot of people are not really into. That needle, even seeing their own blood is just something they're not interested in. Is there any other alternative to this?
I wish there was.
Okay.
But there really isn't. And I always tell people, just zero your mind to the fact that once a year I'm going to be uncomfortable for 5 minutes, for my better health.
Okay.
So when we take your blood, what do we check for? We check for your blood sugar.
Okay.
We check your cholesterol.
Okay.
We check your kidney function. We check your liver function.
Okay.
Okay. And we need to do this every year.
Every year?
Yes. Then we check your urine.
So the urine one, I know people find it a lot easier to do. It's a cup, you hand it over. But can we get the names of the tests?
Okay.
Because sometimes they sound so scientific and overwhelming. But if we hear them now, maybe we're a little more familiar when we go to the...
So blood sugar is blood sugar.
Okay, straight up.
And either say you're fasting blood sugar. That means your blood sugar first thing in the morning without eating anything.
Okay.
Or your random blood sugar. That is your blood sugar at whatever time of day you get to the clinic or the hospital.
Okay.
Your cholesterol is cholesterol.
Okay.
So you can either do a total cholesterol or a full lipid profile.
What's the difference?
Now, a full lipid profile checks your total cholesterol, and it also checks for the components that make up the total cholesterol.
Okay.
Your good cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, and other types of fat in your body. Okay? So you can either do a total cholesterol for just a general overview, or a full lipid profile. Obviously, total cholesterol will be cheaper than a full lipid profile. Of course. So depending on your pocket.
But you recommend the full lipid profile for people who are more susceptible to certain issues?
So if you're hypertensive,
Okay.
or you're diabetic, or you're in your 40s, then you definitely have to do a full lipid profile.
Okay.
But if funds are an issue, you can just do total cholesterol.
All right.
That should give us an idea.
All right.
Okay. Then kidney function tests. It's called electrolytes, urea, and creatinine.
Okay.
But if you just say kidney function test, the people should know what they're talking about.
Okay.
So this checks the salt in your body. Now, what do the kidneys do? The kidneys purify your blood, and they get rid of some toxins. So we need to check the levels of these toxins. If they're high, they'll know that, the kidneys are not working properly.
Okay.
And if they're low, that also means something.
So I know that the kidneys have a lot to do with your urine as well. And we've heard quite a few times about, the color of your urine, the darker it is, means that you're, less hydrated than you should be. If you are someone who probably notices that your urine is darker and you drink water, do you think that solves the problem instantly, or is there something more?
There are many reasons why your urine can be dark. Like
Okay.
you said, it could be due to dehydration.
Okay.
When you're dehydrated, your urine is dark. But there are other reasons. You may have blood in your urine.
Wow.
You may have pigment, what we call myoglobin, in your
Okay.
urine. So even though your urine is dark and you drink water and
Yeah.
it doesn't go, you need to go to hospital to find out, okay, my urine is dark, what's going on, what's happening?
What color should urine actually be?
It should actually be a pale yellow.
Pale yellow, like the like sunset yellow, or
No,
what
no,
is it?
no, that's dark.
That's dark. Okay.
Like a pale yellow.
Like pastel yellow, like very light,
Yes.
Okay.
Lighter than butter.
lighter than butter.
For example.
Okay, fantastic. So any darker than that, go for it.
You need to find out what's happening.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we've talked kidneys, we've talked blood, cholesterol, and sugar.
Sugar.
We haven't touched on liver and heart yet.
So liver function tests, that's also a blood test. So the liver actually does some things in the body as well. And some liver enzymes are raised when there are problems with your liver. So we need to check that.
Okay.
That's just called liver function test.
Test, okay.
Very simple. Now for the heart, you need to do 2 tests.
Okay.
What we call an ECG, an electrocardiogram.
Okay.
That one is painless. You just lie down and they put wires on, well, not wires, leads on your chest and your limbs.
Yeah.
And then they record it on a graph.
Okay.
Okay. For that one, you need someone to interpret it for you. Most likely either a cardiologist or a doctor that knows how to interpret the ECG.
Okay.
That checks for the electrical activity of your heart. Because your heart is powered by a battery
Oh wow.
and it runs on electric current.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard it put that way before.
Yes, so the ECG just checks the electric current and helps you know if there are any initial issues with your heart.
Okay.
Then the chest X-ray shows you the cardiac size. Is your heart big? Is your heart normal? You know, that will just give us an idea of what's happening.
All right, so obviously your heart is supposed to grow with you as you get older, but it probably stops growing in size at a particular age. Probably what, 21?
At a point. So most adults,
Yeah.
your heart size is the size of your fist.
Okay, all right.
You shouldn't get any bigger than that. If it's bigger than that as an adult, then there's a problem.
All right. Dr. Moni, thank you so much for breaking it down so simply for us. And these are just a few of the checks that you need to take this year, early this year, so you know exactly what's going on in your body. And if people are discouraging you, maybe because of financial reasons, no grief for anybody. Please go get checked out. Dr. Moni will be seeing you again next week.
Thank you so much for having me.